Let me give you more reasons to follow the homie Sil for the latest news, scoops and moves he's about to reveal. From coffee talks to special brews, I'm out of burgers for meals. A cup of bourbon with that tea that's about to get spilled. Like, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. Take out your pen and paper, sit down and take notes. Sil is the realest among imposters, scavenging cutthroats. So, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show. Let's go. Between DC and Marvel, they both have a startle. Disney's moving finicky, let's not mention Star Wars. All these movie execs be drunk off their power, disconnected from the fans in the ivory towers. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. When they keep making the same mistake, that's what you call insanity. They can't even acknowledge their self-inflicted calamity. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, let's go. Scoop Senator, Coffee Talks, also covering analytics, making his own reviews, cause it's always been the critics. They clout chasers, money driven, repeating the latest gimmick. Come over to Sil Nation where true vision is given. Listen, what's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. Let's not forget Mikey's son, always special to the crew. From day one when him and Sil got together for special brew. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, I guess I'll finish on this note. When the niggas go flip mode, they turn gremlins, I'm gizmo. Come from my people, my kinfolk. For them I ride for and kill for. With this till I'm skillful, it can really escalate till it all goes abysmal. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. I'm a watchman, forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word? Yo, Sil, we need to know. Tell us what you heard. Yo, Sil, we need to know. The ins and outs, who's walking out, buying in. We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One of a show, let's go.
What's good? What's good? We are here for the Saturday stream, and actually, appropriately, kind of rebranded a little bit here to steer towards the WB Paramount Saudis Snyderverse Saturday stream. That's a mouthful. But that's the aim every time we're here live. Shout out to Sil Nation. We got Jules here for the Saturday show as well. What's up, Jules?
What's up, Sil? Thanks for having me back.
Hey, for sure. She'll be here any Saturdays. You can make it around this time. And that's really the thrust. Like Jules, that's where the energy is at with this whole Paramount connection, right?
Absolutely. This is the biggest thing happening in Hollywood. And, we haven't had a big merger like this is Disney Fox. So it's exciting. However you feel about it, like I'm sure everybody's looking at what Paramount is going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot to discuss. We're going to talk about just the latest news around this whole merger, a little misinformation out there, and, just
a little bit.
Just a little bit. It's a lot of misinformation out there. And so this is really going to be a hub for just that. Hey, is this true? What are they talking about? Like, Jules, I think me and you had a breakthrough a couple weeks ago about the whole debt situation. Like, yep. Before it kind of made news, it was behind the scenes. But the point is, we're looking into this stuff to give you all the real information, Jules. That's pretty much the point.
Yep, absolutely.
For sure. We got Bad Beasts in the chat. Sil Nation in the house. For sure. We are here again to just give you all the real, man. We ain't. I'm not here.
Thank you.
to give any misinformation. We got Yovi. Everyone's fans of Jules here. Always a pleasure, for sure, for sure. Sometimes Jules just say the stuff that maybe I just don't feel like saying, you know. Just Jules just said, you know what?
Yep, that's literally what I'm here for. Just keep it real.
So I would be like, hey, you know what? I've heard a lot of feelings over some years. So, you know, that's just a part of my delivery. I'm like, I don't feel like hurting the whole section of feelings. Jules is like, hey,
I don't care. I'm not here to get famous. I'm one with the people. I'm here to let the world know what everyone's feeling and doesn't have a voice.
So definitely, that's why she's here, for sure, for sure. Just says what all of us think. Yeah, that's kind of a thing. That is kind of a thing right there. Wild Relic was good with you, man. So yeah, definitely some interesting topics today. But again, Saturday, you know, that's when I do my live show. During the week, I get a little more busy. So this is perfect. And again, we're shining a light on this whole Paramount situation. So again, glad y'all are here. Always glad when Jules is here, and we're gonna have some stuff to talk about. Now, before we get into the topics, we got a few. I also want to make sure the approach that I'm doing on this stream, as opposed to the whole Netflix situation. I put a clip out there on social media, got some good engagement when I was explaining again just the difference between Paramount and Netflix. So I'm just going to throw this up here for a second, because this is, again, just, you know, this is setting the tone as far as, you know, the direction we have with the Paramount. So let me throw this up here. That's why, again, just the energy is here for Paramount and the Saudis connection. The actual deal the Saudis has is not, again, it's not just, because the Saudis know Zack Snyder. That's great. They're friends with him. That's great as well. Their actual deal gives them a right to use the DCIP, basically. And you know they're going to pick Zack Snyder. That's why I'm excited for it. And it's all connected together, right? So if that lined up for Netflix, then I'll be riding with that as well. So I can't say it even better than I said last week. As far as, again, you have a lot of people still pushing for the Netflix angle, saying Paramount will somehow sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. That was kind of wild hearing that.
Yeah, man, these people are just like grasping at anything at this point, which I guess is the theme of the show. So let's I'll wait for that to pop up.
For sure. So again, that is kind of like a mission statement in a sense. Is, you know, why are we leaning towards this? Because this is the best scenario for more Snyderverse. That's where we at. That's where we at with that. We got Yovi. We are MAGA. If we support Paramount, we're gonna talk about that in a moment. Yeah, we definitely gonna talk about that in a moment. Let's see. Let me kind of get into the chat here. Let's see what everyone's saying in the chat real quick, and then we'll get to our topics. For sure. Rob, really, he's talking about something with Star Trek. I'm about to double back to that. Let me see, real quick. He's a longtime viewer of the channel, so I want to definitely cover this while we're live. He says, I have news about the Star Trek movie. That's a new Ellison Paramount Skydance. They're doing a new Star Trek rollout. It was supposed to be releasing last year, but they shelved it. Now they are thinking about cutting the movie right down. So that's the old regime. Okay, that's what that is. Okay. So Ellison, that's what it sounds like, Jules. Again, I haven't looked into this, but they closed the deal last year. Skydance buying Paramount, and I think David Ellison was like, he's scrapping stuff that he's not going to go forward with. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know what I don't know much about Star Trek, or I haven't looked at the parameters of what's going on with that particular franchise, but I do know that the current TV show that they have on Paramount Plus doesn't seem to be doing that great. They're probably just looking at the optics, and unfortunately for the people working on that project, it might get reworked or shelved completely until they get new people working on it and figure out what direction they want to go.
And I think what's going on with Ellison and the Skydance team is anything that preceded them, they're like pulling back, like the TMNT Last Ronin film, the Ninja Turtles Last Ronin, which is a great comic if y'all ever want to read any Ninja Turtle comic recently. It's basically like all the turtle family is dead except one, and he avenges all of them. It's an amazing story. And they're supposed to do a film with Paramount, but this is pre-David Ellison. And what Ellison came in and did, he was like, I'm pausing anything that was greenlit before I got here, including stuff like that, some cool stuff. But
I mean, yeah, if it's big IPs like that, I would do the same thing. Like, I want to look this over, make sure it is going to work, and I don't want no more flops.
It's not killed overall. It's just that we're holding off on it. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe that's what Rob Relic, your family's film, maybe it's caught up in that cloud of Ellison's like, that predated my team. We're gonna wait and properly relaunch any IPs under us. So that's probably what's gonna happen. I don't think it's completely shelved.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating, but it makes sense from a business perspective.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll see what goes on with that. The coping is real with us. Yeah, and again. What I don't want to do though, I do want to make this clear. This is not us just like, oh, this is Netflix every Saturday. It's like, no, I'm just showing the difference. There's a difference between Snyder fans who give Netflix the best chance, and we haven't heard nothing in a couple of years, Jules, with Zach and Netflix.
Right. I mean, if we see stupidity in the fandom, we're going to call it out. Like, it's making enough noise. We're just going to say what it is.
I'm just saying. So, again, if Netflix, like I said in that clip, if Netflix was bringing the heat with Zack Snyder, we'll be rocking with that right now.
Absolutely.
No question, right?
But it doesn't even matter at this point because Netflix lost. They pulled out. They got their billions. They ain't coming back. All we got is Paramount. Paramount has good optics when it comes to Snyder. So let's look forward to what we can possibly get in the future, which is what we all want, which is the Snyderverse being restored.
Exactly, Zach. So
simple. 1 + 1 = 2.
We ain't got to talk about Netflix no more, right? So, so going forward.
Facts, yes. We might as well. They haven't started filming yet, so why not?
There you go. I knew you would like that one.
Speak my language.
Just to make it very clear, Man of Tomorrow will film next month. And James Gunn's going to get a chance. That'd probably be his last DC project.
Absolutely. It's fine, guys. We'll just boycott that too. Let them know what we want. What we don't want. We don't want slop. That's it. We're tired of fart jokes.
Amazing.
And the disrespect to Superman, which is the biggest issue from Gunn.
Let's expound on it just for a brief moment here with how James Gunn has presented his Superman, right? Because I think most people are kind of coming to the grips with that. Everyone's coming up with their own version of these characters, right? Like people could swear it's comic book accurate and stuff like that. Now everyone's doing their own version, right?
It's 100 years of comic books. We have so many different iterations of these characters. It's not one size.
Zack Snyder did Earth 1 Superman, and he kind of remixed it with Cavill, and I love that version, right, of his. And what Gunn's did, he tried to do like some Silver Age stuff and kind of do his Guardians stuff with that. That's his version. You just made a statement about that he disrespected Superman. If you want to just kind of touch on it just a little bit, just for the live.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like in every major project he has, he disses Superman in some way. With Peacemaker, I believe that he was the one. That's the show that he made the comment that there was some comment about Superman. I'm confusing with, but I know he did a comment about Superman and Peacemaker. He kind of like touched on all the Justice League characters, and then in the Superman show, movie itself, like just his whole persona was just wrong. Like he was not a patient man, or he didn't come off as intelligent. Arguing with Lois over mundane things, like that's just completely off, right? And then not only that, but he apparently wasn't able to beat any villains on his own without outside help. Superman doesn't need help from anybody, really, usually, unless it's like a big bad villain.
Oh, if it's like Brainiac level, Doomsday level,
Doomsday, Darkseid, whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
And then now with Supergirl, we see Crypto peeing on his picture in the newspaper. So is that how you really feel about Superman, Gunn? Like that's the way I'm taking it.
And I don't blame people. We only could go off what Gunn is putting out there. His version of Superman, I did feel he was a little more, irrational, a little moody, more than I expected. Now
his low T Superman.
on the other side of this, I will say that you want to make Superman more relatable. My argument with that is that I don't want Superman to be relatable. This is what, as a DC fan, I want him to be a god amongst us.
Yeah, that's what we are DC
That
fans
is,
because we prefer that kind of theme. We want these ultra superpowered beings that are
yeah.
larger than life. If I want street level relatable, I'm gonna go check out what Marvel's doing because that's what made them famous.
Or even with DC, Jules, like Green Arrow is very street level.
Right.
He's not a meta, right? That
Right.
I could relate with Green Arrow if I had his money. You know what I'm saying? But it's like like even Batman if you have his gadgets, right? So it's like Superman. I always grew up thinking like, oh, like this is some next level stuff. Or this dude's from Krypton, and he absorbs the sun, and it's like. So you gotta make his story interesting, but it's not about bringing him down, Jules. Right? That's why I didn't agree.
Yeah.
I like the scenes. Again, I want to make this very clear. I like the scenes that Gunn did actually did with Clark and Lois. I actually like those scenes, but what it painted Kal-El to be, I don't want to feel like Kal-El is like just like me.
Right.
I want him actually to be that.
And that's the thing.
Know.
Like, if you feel like you need to depower Superman, then you don't understand Superman because you don't know how to make him fit within the world that he actually lives in. Because that's the whole point of Superman. He's someone that doesn't fit in, and he's kind of forced to because that's the only way he can survive. And you should be able to find ways to make people relate to that, right? Like people talk about the X-Men all the time that they're so relatable. Well, they're also super powered beings, but people relate to them in some kind of personal level. I don't have laser beams coming out of my eyes, but there's certain things that Cyclops probably does in the leadership role. Maybe you can relate to that as if you're have a leadership role in your corporate environment or something like that. You never know. It's like little mundane things like that, little small details is what makes a character relatable. Not, oh my God, let me just have him get beat up by a child. That way, we can all be related. Like what? This is dumb.
Right. I mean,
lack of creativity.
What made X-Men so great, the years that we grew up, it was the whole difference angle in the people that wants to be supremacists or something over people. That's what the X-Men kind of stood for in my point of view, is that okay, you want to shun us from being different, and it's like I get that. Like I think that works with X-Men overall. With Superman, that's like the ultimate. It's like I don't want to bring Superman down Earth level.
You do not have to bring him down. And honestly, Zack Snyder already did the whole relatable angle by making him a misfit in the world. That's
as close as you got right there with Zack Snyder. Right. And again, you saw the ramifications.
He did not have to depower him at all to do it.
At all. And then even in BVS, Kal-El was still trying to figure out his place in this world.
Right.
Calling
Dude
his
was
mom
going through freaking depression. Like who hasn't gone through a little bout of depression here and there in this world we live in? Like, let's be for real. I mean, we're trying to clown him for that. But then they want to do kind of the same thing with Gunn's version to make him all emotional and stuff. But the emotions that he's showing are more immature type juvenile emotions, like erratic.
I'm going to be honest. Like, again, I think the version that Gunn put out there, I respect Gunn's writing as far as character building. I've said it several times. I actually like how Gunn writes characters, but that line in his Superman 2025 film Superman saying, I'm as human as everyone. I hate that line. Right. I hate that line because I'm like, no, you're so Kal-El. Like, no, that's not what Jor-El taught you. That's not even what Jonathan Kent. He didn't teach you that.
No, they always said he was different, but he's special.
Exactly. You lean into that. It's like you have abilities. You can save mankind, or you can at least teach him the way. That's what Jor-El. And again, I know Gunn kind of freaked that a little bit with Jor-El as well too. But just lack of respect for the mythos, and that's something that as a fan I really can't accept. But I'm gonna give him, Jules. I'm gonna say, hey, that's your version of it. I'm actually not gonna get too mad at him. But
we can't allow people to try and make it seem like that's the real comic book accurate version because clearly it's not.
For sure. Yeah, I think we agree 9 times out of 10 on everything we just said. But real quick, we got let's see, I gotta blow my screen. My screen gets crazy when we're live. Don Corleone 4032 says, here's hoping, regardless, we all need to put our differences aside and begin to restore the Snyderverse campaign again. Hashtag events, the whole shebang, similar to the Snyder Cut hashtag events. I think
absolutely.
I think that's what it's kind of moving towards, Jules. Because that Netflix thing was a thing. And again, I'm gonna make this very clear. Netflix, that was an angle until it wasn't, right? And now Restore was right after, the Snyder Cut came out. The call was to restore, to finish Zack's story. That's what it means to me when I say restore the Snyderverse, Jules. I know people want like other spinoffs and stuff like that, and I get it, but I just want Zack to finish his story. That's what Zack spoke on his recent interview. Said, "Hey, I got Justice League 2 and 3. Still got it in the bag right there." So I think the fandom, Jules, should again look at the best option to get the finish of the story.
Absolutely. And then I agree with Don Corleone 4032 here. Now is the time, right? Like the big events and all those big events that people like hosted back in the day when they all got it restored. Got to bring that back now with the whole Netflix hashtags, whatever. It worked for a little time. It didn't work, but like it had its meaning, right? Because we thought Netflix and Snyder had a good relationship, and they did at that time. But obviously things changed. Now with Paramount coming into the picture, and we see that their relationship with Zack, right? It's very tight. So now is the best time to start doing that. Show them what you want. That's why I said earlier, like Man of Tomorrow, if you don't want that universe to continue, don't watch it. Do not hate watch. That's all I'm saying. Show them what you want. If you want the Snyderverse, campaign for it. Now is the time to start that. And not only that, like Snyder has been giving us all the clues on his Instagram account, right?
Yeah. He
previously came out saying, during the whole initial campaigning before, his version of Justice League came out, he actually said that he learned that fans were looking at his accounts for clues. So once he learned that was what kept them going, he started feeding them.
Yes.
Why would we think that he stopped doing that all of a sudden? What is he doing now? He's feeding the crap out of us. So it's a war cry. This is a war cry, basically. Like now is the time. Whoever organized the fandom back in the day, it's time to start back up and get this thing rolling, because we have never been so close to having this universe restored and having him finish the story of JL 2 and 3. And yeah, I do want the spinoffs. I want Batfleck. I want Superman or Man of Steel 2. I want a real Wonder Woman sequel. I want to see James Wan cook with Aquaman, not what we got for Aquaman 2, whatever the hell that was, right? Like we need to see. I want to see Flashpoint. I want to see JD. I think who's JDF. I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan playing Thomas Wayne, right?
Yeah.
Like I want to see that. I want to see
Flashpoint, real Flashpoint.
Yeah, I want to see the real Flashpoint.
Yeah, Thomas Wayne Batman. I mean, that's like one of the best creations ever.
That's like again another. That's gonna be like another Watchmen level type movie. Like it's just as for Elseworlds,
right? Because he's in Watchmen, right?
That's
Watchmen.
Crazy. And and he looks perfect in Watchmen. Like take him from Watchmen, take out the cigar, and put the bat cowl on him. Perfect.
You put them in with the whole 5 o'clock shadow with the Batman, like bro. He's perfect, and Zach
he looks like he could be related to Ben Affleck, so that's like perfect.
Insane.
And I forgot the lady's name that played Martha Wayne.
I forget her name. Yeah,
she was in
Walking Dead as well.
Yeah, and she's a very good actress. So I would love to see her playing the female version of the Joker in that universe. No one's really seen that or knows much about it, so that would go insane in the theaters.
That story would go so hard, under the Snyder.
It really would. Like just like from a psychological perspective.
Yeah.
Like how both of their personalities completely split and went off to opposite directions when their son died. Like,
but it fit into the DC mythology. Like that's why I love DC, because like Bruce died in that scenario, and Thomas became Batman. But again, Martha became Joker. That's like
insane.
That's like perfect symmetry.
It is. That's like you want to talk about cinema? That's freaking cinema. Like all the psychologists and everybody can have a field day, studying those two characters right there.
Oh my goodness! Like we could do a whole 2-hour show on that on Flashpoint. Exactly. My goodness! But so definitely that's what we want from the DC standpoint. We're going to talk about again what people feel is a lack thereof with DC. And again, there's people that they're looking forward to this Lanterns DC, what they're doing, but I think there is the criticism is not just straight up, oh, we don't want James Gunn DCU. It's respecting the Lanterns as DC fans. That's the problem.
Respecting the source material. This has been something fans have been crying for decades about. Like going back to the X-Men days, the first X-Men movie, right, with the black leather suits. respect the source material. We want to see the colorful costumes. We want to see the lore being respected. And we're now all of a sudden we're degressing, right? We're devolving when it comes to this. And now we're just, talking doing all this nonsense all over again when we don't have to.
Exactly. So I think it's very clear. Shout out to BKH with the super chat here, and very clear in the chat. I love to interact with the chat for sure. Obviously, if you send a super chat, that's going to jump your comment up. So just going to make that very clear. And so if I'm missing your comment, I do appreciate the support with this as well too. We got BKH saying the sad part is old WB execs and new WB execs wasted 10 years. Oh my goodness. Distancing themselves from the Snyder style DC, yet nothing they've done has worked. I mean, we're here in 2026, Jules, from 2016 BVS, 10 years later. They swear that BVS wasn't what the people wanted for DC, and it's literally what the people wanted for
literally
DC.
Yeah. It's such a shame, honestly. And I think a lot of us in the fandom think about all the time wasted and dollars spent when the universe could have been done and over by now, rebooted, and they could have been doing something else in peace, because we wouldn't be down their throats like we are now. This could have been so easy. I mean, literally, BVS made over $800 million.
Yeah,
it didn't hit the $1 billion mark. The second movie in a franchise hitting $1 billion, that never happens, right? That's very rare, especially at that time.
But if you want to take in all the digital and physical media sales, is obviously over $1 billion.
Collectible toys are still being made of that universe. Nobody cares about corn sweat Superman.
Oh yeah, the merch on top of that, right, is crazy with that. And all they had to do was finish Zack's story back then and that would have been the measuring. It's still the measuring point for any DC right now. But you finished that story back then, do JO 2 and 3 and Flashpoint would have been done 6 years ago.
Yep.
Right. As far as with this overall, and then anyone else that dares to come into the DC live action situation, you see what preceded you and you want to measure up. What James Gunn is doing, I'm not saying it's invalid DC, but what I am saying is that it's definitely
it didn't hit the culture at all.
It's not, and we'll kind of get to the Lantern thing because it's not. I said this with Superman 2025 that it just is. Anyone out there, and I would love for them to step up and say, "Oh, this is a cultural film." James Gunn's Superman is just another James Gunn project. That's what sits with me. It's like, okay, it's there. It exists. Man of Steel, 2013, 13 years ago. I still remember being in the theaters for opening day for Man of Steel, the Krypton sequence, Russell Crowe, all the lessons he was trying to tell Kal-El overall, and going into where Superman's his first day on the job, he's fighting Zod, and he's choosing mankind over Krypton only because of the lessons that Jor-El and Jonathan taught him, right? Like, that's what Man of Steel was about. And that's missing in Superman 2025.
Man of Steel had heart, basically, whereas Superman 2025 was just a popcorn flick. And I was saying it, before the movie came out, we were doing our Wednesday streams. That movie is going to come and go. It's a summer popcorn flick. It's going to come and be here today, gone tomorrow. I've been saying that for years, and that's exactly what happened.
That's sort of what happened with that. For sure, yeah, no, we're good. And so that's why there is, even people that's giving this DCU a chance, because I've had a lot of viewers that found this channel the past year where I was covering James Gunn Superman, and we was like, we'll just see what he got, and we'll give our honest opinion. I'll restate this, that it's not the worst Superman film ever. I think Superman 3 is definitely worse than James Gunn. And there's debatable about Superman Returns. We talked about the plane scene. People have fought about that. But it's not the best Superman film ever. And, that just is what it is.
Let's just say it's a pretty low bar.
It's mid. We were talking about mid-level production overall with the film, and that just is what it is. I mean, again, we're talking about are people really talking about this as much? You know, I remember
think
Man
it
of Steel. People were still talking about the Smallville fight years after Man of
right.
Steel came out.
If anything, I think people are talking about Henry more. Like,
I'm
where's Henry?
just saying. That just, and again, it's about the people. We
Yeah,
could be
it's the
biased
general
as we
audience.
want. Yeah, yeah.
The geekdom can say whatever the hell they want. The general audience is the majority by far. They're the ones that are gonna pay. They're the ones that are gonna shape the culture overall with the
For
merchandise
sure.
and all that, the zeitgeist, right? They
Mhm.
want Henry. They've made it known they want Henry. If the regular woman on the street, that's not Superman. Where's the other guy? Where's Henry?
I mean, that's a real thing. And I'm real big on selling, marketing overall. And it's like, okay, you gave us a new Superman. Okay, let's see what he got. And then we've seen what you got, James Gunn. That's why Man of Tomorrow, I'm not expecting anything spectacular. I'm expecting more of the same, right? With more, Lex, I guess. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't know what, and that's just where we're at with that. So real quick, BKH, much appreciated. Appreciate the super chat. And y'all know, leading into April of 2026, we got the Michael Jackson film. So I got some Michael Jackson drops that we're going to do for the super chat. So one time. It's amazing. That's amazing to me. I'm just saying. Shout out to Michael Jackson, the greatest pop star ever. We got Neo Sevens here with super chat. He says, with Paramount's acquisition of WBD, should we campaign them despite what certain influencers say? Marcus is so crazy. What's your thoughts on that, Jules?
Is this a real question? What influencers?
Netflix influencers. That's what.
Oh, the wannabes? No. So how about this question? How many influencers did we actually let determine the trajectory of the Restore the Snyderverse campaign back in the day? What influencers were part of that? None. It was a completely I don't want to say generic, but an organic,
grassroots, organic,
the fandom that campaigned for this. That's exactly the same thing that we need to do now. Forget what the influencers are saying. Obviously the writing is on the wall. If you have half a brain, you see what's happening. Zack Snyder is good friends with the people that are going to be part of the new ownership group. So let's campaign. You want the Snyderverse. You want the Snyderverse back. You want them to know that what we want. Start campaigning. Easy as that.
And I think the Snyder fandom, it's become more of a natural thing because we've been through a couple waves of this.
Yeah.
The release of Snyder Cut thing, 2018, 2019, that was, it was kind of structured. It became more organic. And we didn't know the whole time. Zach was feeding us pictures of Darkseid, and he was negotiating with AT&T behind the scenes, right? And the Warner, right? And then the Snyder Cut was released. And then Zach started doing the whole, Crisis Turkey, Final Crisis thing.
Yep.
All of a sudden, Ben and Henry was coming back until, obviously Zazov, James Gunn was installed. We understand what happened with that. So when Zach is active, we're going to be active. And I think the fandom knows when Zach is active now. We have like 3 waves of this now. Zach's very active on Instagram. So it's definitely time for all of us to be active, promoting Zach stuff and seeing what he's pushing out there. There's something happening behind the scenes. It's got to be. The
only person you should let influence you in this quote unquote campaign is Zach. If Zach is active, the campaign should be active.
Simple. Exactly. That's where we're at with that. So for sure, like Neo Sevens is saying, obviously we want the Paramount deal to close, right? So we're going to, definitely follow the lines with that. They're hoping this fall, at the latest, early 2027. The connection with the Saudis is real. The terms of their contract is real. So that's where we're at. I'm waiting for Netflix to announce a Zack Snyder project, y'all. Like I can't say this enough every stream.
I think that new deal, the first look deal, is still active, right? With them?
Yeah, it is. He got an extension a couple years ago.
They could announce literally anything. They can just announce a Twilight of the Gods, a sequel season. But should be easy, right? Because it's just animated. So.
He filmed an entire film, Jules, Last Photograph, separate from Netflix.
Right. They don't want it.
I'm just saying. So that's what I'm saying. Anyone is saying, oh, well, Netflix can do this and that. I'm saying I want them to announce a Zack Snyder project. and then I will give them some attention, but they're not right now.
Right.
So that's where we're at. Before anyone says net or flicks, I want a Zack Snyder project to be announced from them. Until then, there's really nothing for y'all to talk about.
Literally.
Just saying with that.
Their actions speak louder than words, and their actions have shown us they're not really on the whole Snyder bandwagon right now. So move on.
And I promise y'all, if the actions is there, me and Jules will be right there with it. Like, okay, let's go. More Zack Snyder content.
That's our
It's
priority.
not happening right now.
No.
Yeah, it's not happening. So much respect. Neo Sevens, Marcus, for sure. We'll give you the epic drop for that. Actually, I'm gonna do it's a little side thing because you got the whole James Gunn thing, and like, is he really rocking with DC? Because we're gonna transition to this Lanterns conversation. So one time,
is this your king? Huh? Is this your king? Who's supposed to lead you into the future? Him? He's supposed to protect you.
First off, shout out to Michael B. Jordan, first off, because he ate up that Black Panther film. And then this man's about to go get a couple Oscars this year as well, too. But is that your king? James Gunn supposed to lead DC to the future. And now this man ain't got a contract until his next film.
No contract?
I'm just saying. And again, before we get to the topic, we got the super chats coming in, Jules. We got to address this before we get to the topics.
Yep.
It says here, Paul 4804 with a $10 super chat, much appreciated. Snyder has Rebel Moon comics for sure. I would like for him to continue Twilight of the Gods. You just talked about that, Jules, and the Armyverse and comics. What do you think of Zach's ownership stake? I actually like Twilight. I like Twilight like DC. I love the stuff that Zach was doing separate. Like, I thought Netflix was an angle, Jules. Like, when he did the Armyverse and Rebel Moon, I was rocking that as much as DC. Yeah.
No, Twilight of the Gods was amazing animated series. I would love to see that. I don't want to see that as a comic. I can see Rebel Moon finishing as a comic in the Army universe, but again, like he mentioned here, the ownership stake might be an issue because of distribution rights with Netflix. Kind of muddies things up a little bit. So I don't know how that would work, honestly. It all depends on how their contract is structured.
Yeah, and I know definitely Netflix will have to greenlight anything, if Zach wants to finish stuff in comics. 'Cause I'm gonna say right now, I would take a Rebel Moon graphic novel to finish his story. I actually would take that. I want live action DC, but
yeah, that's the priority right now. DC. Everything else is whatever.
Armyverse, Rebel Moon, Twilight of the Gods. I would take all of that. But Twilight of the Gods, you gotta make the anime. You gotta go and animate that. Stop playing with it. I want no comic book for that. But I would take that for Rebel Moon, and I would support the heck out of that if Netflix, co-signs that overall, because it is on them. They're a big part of that story continuing. So much appreciated, Paul. For sure. We're going to transition to the Lanterns Backlash overall, but one-time drop. Actually, I'm going to do the old school canon drop for Paul here. Canon. Oldie but goodie.
Wow.
Oldie but goodie right there. That's some good stuff right there.
Doing his thing.
Hey, I'm just saying, hey, you got to, you know what I'm saying? You already know, Yovik. So, but this is interesting, Jules, that I definitely get your take. And we got Jules here for a limited time tonight, afternoon. We got people in UK, it's nighttime for them right now. But Lanterns Backlash, it's been interesting. Me and you touched on this on our special Wednesday stream. I had a weekday open, and we talked about it was the day they dropped the trailer. So it was kind of a good opportune time for that. And it wasn't what everyone really wanted with Lanterns, with Green Lanterns, the IP. And first, I want to touch on one thing that you put out there, Jules. There's a clip I put out there of that stream that's going really good social media as well. So let me throw this up here.
The suits at Marvel look pretty basic with way too many lines, and they all look like crap. And that's exactly what is happening now in the DM.
First of all, shout out to the AI. AI did this clip for me, and they thought crap was a bad word. So Yeah, you can't say. Oh, you can say crap, but it
Crap,
just
crap,
AI
crap,
thinks.
crap, crap, crap. All the suits at Marvel look pretty basic with way too many lines, and they all look like crap. And that's exactly what is happening now in his DCU. All the suits look very basic. They look like crap. Too many lines, a lot of plastic,
Just replay
some leather. I think I don't even know if that's real leather. Like they all look terrible. So I don't know if people are still complaining. You should be expecting this type of quality because that's all we've been getting.
Like this suit, I mean, just from the comics, the Earth One comic run, as people know that run out there, it's sort of the style of that suit. But as I was saying before we started recording, there's one thing for the comic book style, you got to translate it properly to live action, and
Right,
that's what's lacking here.
And that's where it goes back to creativity. You can still have a suit with certain lines and just like borrow stuff from the comics, but it's all about execution, knowing what the right materials to use and how to place them to make these patterns.
So Jules went off, right? Jules went off with this one.
Yeah, and I did see people talking about the lines in the suit and how it's similar to the ones in the comics, blah, blah, blah. But then people also started posting pictures of the Wilkinson suit, right? He designed all of the Snyderverse suits, basically.
Mhm.
And like Wonder Woman's suit has a ton of lines in it, but
Yeah.
it still looked amazing, right? Ain't nobody talking about her suit being too complicated looking, but it doesn't look like plastic crap.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, right? This you had a chance, DC, to do a Lanterns. First, you decided to do a series. I don't know why, but okay.
Yeah, weird choice.
You didn't do a film. You decided to do a series, and this is what we're coming up with.
Is this
bro.
official or is this a fan made, right?
This
AI?
is a fan made, but it's taking the suit. It's
way
taking.
too-
It's
No,
taking
let's
this
be
suit.
fair. It's not that brown. Like,
It's
look at
taking this suit.
there's-
No, I mean, look, is it not?
No, I mean this has a tad bit more green in it than the fan made suit. Like,
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I'm
We'll
being
stick with
fair.
this one. We'll stick. Dude. But so we'll stick with this suit. Y'all had 15 years to do a new version of these lanterns,
Mhm.
and this is the suit you roll out when you're promoting your first trailer. Right, we're gonna get to all this as far as like why are we upset about this? Is this Jules is like you just said in the video there that people are going crazy over on Instagram. It's going crazy on Instagram. You're like,
Is it really? I didn't even know.
yeah, it'll get some good viewership over there. Yeah, this isn't what we signed up for a Lanterns.
Hell no.
And let me before we get to that part with it, I want to make this very clear. As far as my problems with the Lantern series is that, do I still think it could be some good performances? I think Aaron Pierre is actually great in the trailer. Kyle Chandler, he's a jerk, and he's Hal Jordan, so I guess he's supposed to be right. This is a total jerk the entire time. So the performances are going to be there. My problem is you're trying to sell a Lanterns project, so we need some constructs. We need something. We need a better suit as well too. I hate that people are saying, "Oh well, it's going to be a better suit later." No, show it now, Jules. Like,
Yeah, this
don't leave
man's
with this.
job is on the line. Like, put it all out there. Make people excited to see your project. Like, I don't think now is the time to play around with people's feelings.
Because I hate people.
These days, first impression means everything now more than ever before because of social media. So if your first impression is complete shit, like the color of this costume, then that's all people are going to remember moving forward. No one's going to watch it.
I'm just saying, it's like, I hate these arguments out there. People are, why are people so upset about this? Because it's supposed to be a Lantern show.
Right. Look, there might be good performances because the actors are good or whatever. Nobody watches stuff anymore for actors. The Hollywood superstar is dead. We're watching for the IP. This is like a known thing now. IPs sell movies. That's all. That's why they're only making IP-based movies for now, right? So I'm watching this. If I'm gonna watch this, I'm watching it for the Green Lanterns, which they took out the word greens because apparently the writer thought it was stupid. It's giving CW, whatever. I digress.
CW was better.
CW would never put some horseshit out like this and feed it to us. With their low budgets, they'll figure out a way to make it work.
I'm just saying, I mean, CW literally, I don't know if I have the screenshot. They did a version of a Lanterns. I think Alan Scott's daughter in the Stargirl show. She had a better Lanterns appearance than this.
Their
right
CGI
here.
may not have been great, but at least they tried. Right?
It was better than this. Okay? It was better than
They
this.
didn't even try. You could tell on the show they did not try. This is giving like the writers of Game of Thrones that they literally came out saying they prefer more grounded investigative type political work like projects. So bro, why are you doing fantasy? This is giving the same thing here with the writer coming out saying the word green is stupid and the Green Lanterns they just made it Green Lantern. So like bro, are do you even like this genre? Like what are we doing here?
Great point. Let's actually pull that up because again, Jules is a segue queen. I just want y'all to know this, but we have the clip of the showrunner of this Lantern series, Lindelof. This is what he says about the Lanterns.
So you just announced a
First, anyone that's talked to me with his legs crossed like that, I have thoughts.
Yeah,
Okay.
like you would
All right.
show. Like it's called Lanterns because we all agreed that the green was stupid. So
Right.
So this is the showrunner. Now, again, people say, "Oh, it's a comedy show." No,
I didn't
wanna
see any
make this
comedy in
clear.
the trailer. Where's the comedy?
There should be reverence for these DC characters. First off, I don't like people saying, like, "Oh, it was just a joke. It's a comedy show." No, you don't go up there saying, "Oh, Superman's stupid, Spider-Man's stupid." It's that serious. It actually is.
Again,
okay?
lack of respect for the source material.
Yeah, I don't buy that. I don't buy this whole thing. Oh, just a comedy bit. Nah, it didn't land. Okay, your joke didn't land, Lindelof, and that's probably why you wasn't able to do that Star Wars film. But we ain't gonna talk about that right now. They pushed you out for a reason. I'm just saying.
So now it's just lanterns.
So, Green Lantern, the Lantern.
This funny to you? Like, okay.
So you can make anything you can imagine. That if you have this magical ring,
Right.
Yes.
And the fights are still.
Is he embarrassed by this show? Jules, like, what are we saying? There's no reverence at
This is
all.
wrong. This is just wrong. Like,
I don't
stop getting
feel it.
people who hate the source material to work on these. They're just collecting a paycheck.
I don't feel it.
Close.
Yeah.
Now get this out of here. Okay, so this is my thing. The problem again that a lot are having is, first off, the presentation of legacy DC IP here. Lanterns has another chance to relaunch, into the zeitgeist, and this is what we do. We're good. So, what's your? How does this land? Like, people are upset for a reason. They're not impressed. And then the showrunner is making this a joke, Jules. Overall.
Right. I mean, so it all goes back. I don't care what people want to say. James Gunn didn't produce it, but he's the head of DC. Whatever happens now, whatever comes out to the public has to go by his desk.
He's
He
the
was okay with
5e
this.
of DC.
Exactly. He was okay with this. This is the standard that he set. Again, just he alone. He, of course, we all know he disrespects source materials left and right all the time. So he's allowing this within his universe or within his offices for other people to do the same thing. And that's exactly what we're getting now with the Lanterns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's what we're, like you said, that's what we're getting. And all I'm saying, my main issue is not just simply because people, okay, well, I mean, this is an issue. This is just showing
Major
this is the first suit we see. That's an issue. But the trailer could have been all that it needed to be, Jules and viewers. But what I wanted was, again, some construct, something showing something magical, right? From
For the first
Lanterns.
trailer, absolutely. You need to, again, that first impression is key. You got to make people want some more. And
This
that
from
trailer just
CW.
made everybody clown him. Yeah, look at
This
this.
from CW.
This is like bare minimum.
This is Alan Scott's daughter in the Stargirl series. This had more aura than this.
It shouldn't
Right.
be that.
Even when Hal Jordan was able to fly, he had no aura around him. We know Zack Snyder respected the Lanterns in Justice League.
We saw
Zack
what he
Snyder
did,
Justice League.
right? With what he did with the Ancient Lanterns, right? Like that was amazing. And they
HBO
completely
can't
held
do
him.
this.
Yeah, they held him back because they had all these other plans. Green Lantern was untouchable, and then this is the crap that they end up giving us. This is what we waited 15 years for.
I'm just saying, just give us a little aura. Like, again, you could have had all the scenes you wanted in that trailer. You don't have to pull anything out. Give us a little green. That's what CW did.
Literally, that's it.
I'm just saying, because people are acting like, oh, you gotta know the comics. No, you don't gotta know the comics. You gotta know Green Lantern
It could be as
lights
simple
up.
as using lights, right? Just a green light somewhere. You probably don't even need that much CG. Like they didn't use a lot of CGI in this particular like photo here. Like is it that hard to do? They just
This
didn't
is
care.
I'm just saying
They didn't-
that's why several people are upset because there was no pop to the trailer. Again, performances could be great all they want, but this ain't the real lanterns to me.
Yeah, and I gotta say,
That's
because
my
I gotta
problem.
bounce in a couple minutes,
Yeah.
but the sad part about this is they're releasing this show under the HBO moniker, which is known for top quality. This is just downgrading the status of HBO with this show. It doesn't belong there.
I mean, so my thing is that they can do this on HBO. It's just give us more bells and whistles. That's really
That's my point. The quality does
Yeah.
not match HBO quality. It does not belong under the
Yeah.
HBO moniker. They should have put it somewhere else.
Yeah, that's where we're at with that. And again, why people thinking like, oh, I see this argument on Twitter all last couple of days. Like, why aren't people embracing this Lanterns trailer? It didn't have enough. It did not have enough
We're not
for
just
the
going to
lore.
accept. We're not going to accept people like I think you mentioned earlier, Sil, before this call, that people were trying to get on you or whatever because you are you're criticizing the trailer without watching it. Blah, blah, blah. Listen, that's what trailers are for, right? Like you'll be able to gauge
Oh, yeah.
whether or not you like or want to watch a movie or a show based on the trailer. That's its job. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna critique it. That's the whole freaking point of a trailer. So don't come at me because I'm not just gonna accept any little bit of crumbs they're gonna throw at me or at the fandom. Like, oh, this is all you're gonna get. Enjoy it while you have it. No, I'm gonna expect more and I'm gonna demand better.
Yeah, we want better. We see a clear picture of CW. That this picture is better than anything they gave us on the HBO trailer.
Right.
Literally. the aura's there is there now. Oh, we gotta do it in post. Well, you shouldn't have put out that trailer then. No one was crying for a Lanterns trailer early.
No, they're calling it a leak and it probably did leak, but it had all the logos and brands all over it. It was ready for release.
Yeah,
Let's
no,
not
they
pretend.
knew
That was one, at least one of the versions that was ready for release. Like the version somebody just grabbed it and leaked it. That was ready to go.
So that's my problem with it. Again, some people may say, "Oh, the adult language and stuff like that." I'm not worried about all that. I mean, okay, Hal Jordan is a jerk. He's going to say, crazy stuff. Not worried about that. Again, I thought Jon Stewart was actually great. Aaron Pierre, I think he's going to be great in this. This isn't a Lantern show. You should have just made a different type of story or something.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have called it Lanterns if you didn't want to show lanterns.
Right. Get a showrunner that actually cares about the character.
That's the point.
It can't be that hard to find one.
So that's where we're at with that. Again, if people want to jump around and make other excuses for this did not sell this show as a Lantern show properly. It just didn't.
Nope.
It just didn't.
And I think Gunn released his own version of the trailer the next day, right? But again, that first impression is all that matters. So everybody already saw that initial trailer. I don't even think anyone even paid attention to his little drop.
There's a new version of it?
I think he released another one.
I'm gonna say Gunn didn't. I'm gonna say Gunn failed in that. But it's like it is what it is. It is out there. The first one's out there. First impressions, as you say, definitely matters, and that's why the smoke is there. Again, I hate when people saying, "Oh, if you read the comics," no. If you read the comics, the lanterns are lanterns. Okay. Again, I showed you a CW picture that was better than anything you showed on HBO. It shouldn't be like that. And so what that means, Jules, and I know you got to get going in a few minutes here. What that means is that Paramount has to be seeing how this is being handled.
Oh yeah. And that's why, like, guys, if you guys really want to make a big stink about this and make sure that they don't mess up once the whole Snyder thing again, like Netflix did, start campaigning, get the crew back together. It's time.
Definitely. I think I'm gonna be honest. Like when this comes out in August, when this Lantern show comes out, I think everyone should be very vocal on social media as far as just if it's underwhelming, you should put it out there, right?
And
you should put it out there.
If you can't stomach it after episode 1 or 2, just drop it. Sometimes that speaks more than complaining online.
I'll be honest, like if I don't see anything close to this in the first episode,
you're gonna check out.
I'm just gonna be like, no, this ain't lanterns. You should have made something else. Don't call it lanterns if you ain't bringing the green. I'm sorry. And then you got people say, oh, well, they're gonna bring, yellow and other spectrums in the show. Okay, that's cool.
But that
least
has
show
nothing
me
to do with the
something.
name.
At least show me something in the
The
trailer.
showrunner himself gave us the reason for removing the word green from the show's title, and it was not because there's other colored lantern corps coming. Like, that's not the reason at all. He named it lanterns.
No.
He does not care about the source material.
He told
he thinks
you
Green Lantern is stupid. All right,
all right, Jules got to roll out. Much appreciated,
guys. Thanks again for all the love.
Yeah, hopefully next Saturday we'll have her back. We'll start a little earlier to have Jules on here. All right, much appreciated. We'll be in touch. All right. Good stuff. So the Lanterns backlash is a real thing. And again, I understand why people are pushing back. And I don't like how this is being colored where, oh, you don't know the comics or you don't know the story of the Lanterns. It's like, no, it's a reason. It's a reason. I believe it's 8 episodes. I believe it's 8 episodes for this show overall. And again, you're not giving me this. The CW gave you this, right? And you can't capitalize and give us this on HBO with a bigger budget. It's insane. It's definitely insane. And that's what we're faced with this show. But again, I see the different arguments. I see, again, people trying to say people don't know the comics and things like that. But that's not the truth. It's you've seen it for yourself. And if there's a land for you, it's a reason as a Lanterns fan overall. Yeah, Stargirl was great. Again, Stargirl had near HBO level production. And that was a real thing. And you have full HBO production costs, and you call it the dirt lanterns. You give us this. Now, I'll be clear with Paramount coming up. More money is to come for DC projects. So that's one thing, is that more money will be used after this deal closes with Paramount. It's looking more increasingly like that James Gunn, what he was given with his DCU was just to make what you could with the budget, lower budgets. Let's see. This man said, call it dirt lanterns. That's tough. That's tough right there. Now, again, do I feel the performance will be subpar? The story subpar? I think it'll probably end up being a decent story overall. But if you're selling lanterns, you have to show us lanterns. You can't, I see people saying, oh, well, they didn't show you everything. They're going to cook, with this show once it comes out. It's like, no, you should show us the goods now if you're selling this. Because I promise you this, when Paramount comes into the building, you're not going to see suits like this. All right, let me be very clear with that. We're not going to be counting pennies when Paramount's in the door. Again, once the deal has to close, we understand that. Because I think it's obvious with James Gunn, he was pretty much being told to not spend too much on the budget. That's fine. That's fine. But maybe you shouldn't do a lantern show if you got to save money. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, Stargirl had a big budget at first and they cut it. This is funny. Gunn doesn't need more money. He needs a life coach. Wow. Mm-mm. Dang, pigment lanterns. The chat is going in. That's my issue. Like I could have took, and again, I'm glad I had Jules at first because, like, she has her own thoughts about all this, and I definitely appreciate it. I was fine with the trailer overall, but when you're trying to sell lanterns, I needed some aura. And then when he finally used the ring, when he tried to like vaporize some dude, it cuts away. I'm like, bro, this ain't lanterns. This is just a buddy cop show. Which, okay, that's fine, but you shouldn't call it lanterns if you don't want to show lanterns. That's my whole point. Am I saying, oh, it's going to be terribly performed, terrible acting? No, no. You call this lanterns, I need at least one shot like this. Just at least. And we didn't get it. Oh, they're going to save it for the show. Why? Why are we saving aura shots? If you wasn't ready to give us an aura shot, don't come out with the trailer. No one was even bothering y'all for a lanterns trailer. Everyone was looking at, okay, Supergirl, let's see what she got. You introduce Lobo, let's see what you got. If you needed a couple months to finish your aura shot, wait till then to introduce the trailer. Who's ahead of this marketing for DC? Because I see people again copping pleas, saying, "Well, they're just hiding stuff. It's coming." No, that's not hot. It's not. Let's catch up with the chat. Dirt Lanterns is crazy. For real, bro. Brown lanterns. All right. Paramount also in a bunch of debt. Oh, yeah, debt is overrated. First off, debt is what companies use to leverage actually borrowing more money, to become a billionaire and maintain being a billionaire or millionaire. I can't relate to either, but you don't spend your own money. That's the rule. So, oh, we're in debt. Let's use your money, right? And then when I make more money, I'll pay you back. You see, that's how that works in Hollywood. And yeah, I cover this on recent videos on my platforms. Is that Paramount obviously has a huge debt that they're inheriting with Warner Brothers and their own debt, and then they borrowed money to buy Warner Brothers. But their game plan is to do the 30 films a year to generate more income to pay off the debt, and then again reinvest in more films. So that's their game plan. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about the debt too much. Just saying. So this is a good point here. I like. I mean, the City Soul says this here that Guy didn't have his aura. So if that's consistent, then what I wanted Music City was show me a couple constructs, right? Because Guy. I mean, there's some of the best scenes in the Superman film. Superman 2025 is when Guy, best, especially at the end, when he's like, "Oh, Superman ain't coming, but you got an upgrade." And Guy had a couple good moments with that. And even his first appearance when they fought the kaiju in Superman 2025, he had the construct of the megaphone. So I just wanted to see that in a Lanterns show trailer, right? That's where I'm at. Now they should think about having some aura. I'm just saying. It's funny because when you first saw Guy and Superman, it was very quick. The whole Justice Gang was there. And then again, he immediately did the construct. So that's what I wanted. That at the very least, that's what I wanted. Question show. If you want to do a low budget question show, a mystery in a rural town, you would have the same effect instead of using a lantern's name, right? Wow. That's wild. That's wild right there. But it is what it is, right? We are definitely seeing the marketing of this DCU that seems to have been an issue every step of the way. People aren't going to count Creature Commandos too much because that, it came out and did what it needed to do as a animated, niche animated project. So you wasn't winning any favors with Creature Commandos. But with Superman, I think the first teaser trailer was actually good. They only had like one little kerfuffle with the slanted eye stuff with that. So marketing was kind of good with Superman. I'm be honest with that. But I think the Supergirl trailer wasn't really feeling that. Overall, I like parts of it. You got to be on point as DC. You're still trying to match Marvel. You're still going uphill if you're not Batman. And so you got to be on point. And this wasn't the best first impression of Lanterns, especially when I can see this on CW, right? Exactly. That's my point, Music City, is that even if you don't want to have that flying aura with Guy gave you a construct. And I was actually, that was some of the best parts of the film. Superman 2025 was Guy. I got you with that. We needed more. We needed more here. They would have messed up question. Would have messed up the question series anyway. Amazing stuff there. So let's go forward here because there has been, we have the Lanterns backlash. There has been a lot of backlash with this Paramount deal, which has been just kind of odd to me. A lot of people leading up to this deal late last year, Paramount seemed to be the favorite, and then Netflix kind of vaulted and had a potential deal. Then we understand what happened at 180. Paramount ends up with it. But people are finding every reason, like false reasons, to not want Paramount to win. That's what we're going to discuss here because, again, we're talking about this is the WB Paramount Saudis Snyderverse Saturday stream. So we're going to be a hub of real information. Looking forward to this deal to close. Again, the base of this is that this is our best lane to get more Snyderverse. So we're leaning into this. If Netflix would have won this, it would have been an odd lane and we would have tried to find a way, but this is the best option. But upon Paramount winning this bid and potentially closing this fall, people are having some personal issues. I addressed a few things. We talked about the debt. Someone just talked about the debt. Anyone that would have bought Warner Brothers Discovery or just Warner Brothers would have incurred massive debt. Netflix would have had at least $60 billion in debt. All right. Buying Warner Brothers, you would have inherited their debt and you would have been borrowing money. Netflix was borrowing like $50 billion from banks. So Netflix would have had at least $60 billion. But again, Paramount has so much debt. Any company would have had the debt. So that's one thing. And then two, on social media, I see people making this political, and I'm not really trying to get too much into this. It's sad this has to be brought up, but I'm just going to bring it up now, is that a lot of people are feeling Paramount, David Ellison, head of Skydance, overall. And if you feel there's some news out there, definitely throw it in the chat and we can address it now. Right? we could address it now. So there's a lot of people feeling David Ellison, oh, he's MAGA and he's going to support Trump or whatever. But it's come out that David Ellison was funded the Kamala Harris campaign on this previous election. Again, Fernando, you could bring up some specifics. Don't be general with me. We're talking freely, right? I don't do that general stuff like, oh, come on. Like, no. What is your issue? Because I just addressed right now, he's not MAGA. Even if he was, I actually wouldn't care. It's about the entertainment, right? Now, if you want to make it about CNN, again, CNN is crap. Who watches CNN? Or they're going to make CNN like Fox News. So what? Right? Be specific with me, though. Don't be general. That's one thing I can't accept that. Right? Speak freely, and we can address that. So there's, again, a lot of misinformation out there about that. Like this example here. Let's put this up here. Talking about misinformation. If something's true, I would love to talk about true information all day. The sad thing is, there's a lot of misinformation and people just putting out whatever they want to because they get some clicks from it. And you got like-minded people. Let's keep it real. A lot of people want the Netflix to buy Warner Brothers because they knew Netflix political leaning. And it's sad it becomes this. But with Paramount, his political leaning was similar to Netflix. So why are we mad? Why are we mad about this? We got this post right here. He says here, reminder, a large part of Paramount's funding comes from sovereign funds of Middle East. I don't think this deal will be a slam dunk. Is this true news? Is this true? I'm going to do simple math with y'all. Is a large part of the Paramount deal funded from the sovereign funds, like Middle East? It's going to cost Paramount $110 billion to buy Warner Bros. Discovery. Just $20 billion plus came from the sovereign nations. That represents less than a fourth. This is all public information. So don't come here and say all the news is true. This ain't true right here. That's my point. It's distracting us from just talking about real news and real information and entertainment. That's what bothers me, because it's your personal views that's clouding a lot, or you're just worried about, the political stuff. No, or really just to be real. James Gunn was safer with Netflix, right? All I say out there, if you're going to question anything I say, especially when I'm live, definitely come with some specifics. I'm ready to talk about specifics with you right now. This is a false statement out there. And the fact that the sovereign nations, they again have less than a fourth. There's a lot of agendas. That's why we're trying to slap this aside now, because I want to deal just with the entertainment information when we're here live Saturdays. We want to weed this out right now. Get rid of all this political, if you're leaning some way or not. I actually don't care how you're leaning political or not. We want to get to the entertainment, but don't bring up this political stuff to try to derail the conversation. All right? That's what we're not going to do. Now, on top of that, David Ellison came out and said CNN independence needs to be maintained. Again, I don't watch CNN, so I actually don't care Be quite honest. If they make it like Fox News, that's 2 networks I'm not going to watch now. Like whatever. I already don't watch either of them. What does this have to do with more DC? that's what I'm saying. So we're just making it very clear on these Saturday live streams that we're not going to wallow into this. You got some blue states trying to fight against this Paramount deal because of political reasons. Federal is going to let it pass. This deal will likely pass. I'll put money on that. If there's like a, if you're betting on what's going to happen, likely it's going to pass. And that's exactly because like all these people saying, "Oh, well, save CNN." You don't watch CNN. Like I don't watch none of this stuff. CNN, Fox News, they're both trash networks. MSNBC, I don't really rock with them either. I watch the local news. Probably during the election cycle, I'll chime into other this stuff. So again, most people, they just want Netflix to win this because it fitted their agenda. And I'm just saying here on the Saturday, the WB Paramount Saudi Snyderverse Saturday stream, we're not accepting this political stuff. I'm saying get this out of here. That is what it is. And I'm not going to call everybody idiots, but if they want Netflix, it would have destroyed Hollywood. I think it's very clear. And this is a good segue. Oh, my goodness. Great segue by Bayona Rad, because since Jules is not here, we got to. How is the government going to control? I just showed you. So we're going to say, are we saying that David Ellison is lying here? I want a response to this. Are we saying David Ellison is lying here because someone else reported something opposite? Let's put this all on the table. Again, this is a Saturday stream, and I want to leave this type of talk behind. So him saying CNN independence needs to be maintained, that's telling you government's going to control him? MAGA Studios? Like what? Let's be real here. It's about what you like. It's about what agrees with your worldview. That's what all these reports. And again, multiple years running this platform, I've always been against just going off of what you like to hear. We got some newer people here. They probably don't know how I roll with this, but I don't just lean on just what I want to hear. That's that whole bourbon talk with me and the late, great Mikey Sutton. We'll give you bourbon talk. So these folks always tell, so just one side doesn't tell the truth. Fernando, I'm not even going to go through this with you right now. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I don't have to walk you down this path right now, because if you're just thinking, oh, one side is so holy, then I'm sorry. We're not going to agree. I'm going to say, let's hear both sides of the argument, and then I will decide which side is telling the truth. There is no ultimate one righteous side. That's what I'm trying to tell people. I've been saying this for several years now. And again, the intent is to leave this talk behind. Hey, I agree to disagree. It's all good. That's all good. But I'm not going to just take one report and say, oh, I agree with this report, so that's all true. He's saying right here, he wants to maintain the independence. So he's automatically lying, right? Because you don't like what he's saying. That's the point. That's the point I'm making with that. And that's fine. I'm all good with this, agreeing to disagree. But just like I put up this false statement, is this statement true just because you agree with it? Oh, the sovereign funds, they have a large part of the fundings. 110 billion and they just got 20 billion. That's not a large part. That's where it's at. So there is, again, misinformation out there about Paramount because, again, people want to have their side of the story, right? And that's fine. And that's fine if that's how people want to lean with that, right? So on top of that, I remember you set me up great, Bayona Rad. If they want Netflix, they would have destroyed Hollywood, right? They were kind of going back and forth with the theatrical windows. They leaked out 17 days, which is 3 weekends, which is what James Gunn's Superman got in 2025. But I got more than that. But the point, after those 17 days, then they decided, let's put it on a digital release, like another week or two after that. But 17 days was like a template for Netflix, and they tried to backtrack on that. And then on top of that, I've seen a lot of people talk about Paramount. They're going to put everything on AI. AI all day for Paramount. This is going to kill Hollywood. And then lo and behold, this drops. What is this? Ben Affleck. Netflix acquires AI filmmaking startup founded by Ben Affleck. What is this? Because last week I saw a lot of people, again, we're talking about the anti-information about Paramount. I keep the same energy overall. I don't give one side. If Netflix was winning this, I was covering Netflix like they were going to win this. And I was being real about it. Then Paramount came back and stole this bid. We deal with things in real time. And so in real time, people was like, oh, my problems with Paramount, he's MAGA. That's disproven. Oh, the Middle East is going to have the largest portion of the bid. That's been disproven. They're going to let Trump take over CNN. That's been disproven. And then people said AI is going to take over Paramount. Well, Netflix. Now, again, I'm going to make this very clear. I got no problem with AI. Let's keep that same energy 360 degrees. Don't freak out because just because you don't like Paramount. And they were pushing AI, but no, Netflix was going to go 4 times fold with this. If they got Warner Brothers, there's going to be more AI. Ben Affleck. Netflix acquires the AI filmmaker startup founded by Ben Affleck, who will serve as advisor to streamer. What is AI going to do with films? Because now people that was pro Netflix, for whatever reason y'all want to be pro Netflix on, I actually agree with this. I like what Marcus says here. I played clips about him talking about AI a couple weeks ago. And I said, oh, Ben's cooking. AI is just a tool. But I felt like we talked about this before. They was like, I was like, oh, Ben is kind of in on something with his AI. And now we see. So now AI is okay, right? Like it was a problem. That's what that bias stuff I'm talking about out there. Now AI is okay because you had these Netflix influencers saying, oh, Paramount's not the way to go because they're going to go AI. First, they're MAGA. They're going to give CNN to Trump. Trump's going to be out of office, what, in less than 2 years? They're not buying CNN for Trump. Trump's about to be done. So what are we talking about? And then, Paramount's AI. They're going to push AI and kill theaters somehow. I don't know how that even makes sense. But now Netflix influencers, they got to see Netflix is the face of AI now because you put Ben Affleck. This is a tremendous deal. I'm good with this deal. Do you see what I'm saying? But I'm talking about this anti-Paramount misinformation campaign out there. That you were saying AI was a problem with Paramount. Now you're the poster boy, Netflix, of AI. And this is great. This is the future. This is great. Now, can we have a real conversation what AI is going to do for film productions? Ben Affleck said AI will help VFX teams not have overworked. Exactly. Now, but what is that going to do is that it is going to affect the post crew work on any films because it's going to cut down the time, but then that means it's going to be less expensive for post VFX works. Fernando, I don't know what you're saying right now. I actually don't know what you're saying right now. So be very clear with your next comment. I don't know what you're saying. But AI, as Ben Affleck said, there's several statements out there that is going to cut the time on post work like by 6 months. So usually some films, you have these big VFX, big Marvel films, big DC films. It's going to cut the time in half to do the post work. That's why David Ellison, Paramount, came out and said, we're going to do 30 films a year because they are implementing AI as well to help cut these films post works down. So I don't know what you're saying. I said, I'm down with AI. And I was wondering why people were so like, oh, Paramount's going to do AI. Netflix is the face now. And Netflix, they're going to crank out a bunch of projects. There's a lot of selective hearing. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we in the same conversation? Like, what? They're going to crank out, Netflix is going to crank out even more productions yearly. You got the artist equity deal that they've signed, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon with Netflix as well. So if you like the film The Rip, you're going to get more projects like that faster. Again, cutting down the post work in half. That's why Paramount can say we could do 30 films a year. All right? Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about. That was some... We got Swaney Joe 464 says Zack Snyder hasn't posted any DCEU Snyderverse content on his Instagram account since Paramount won the bid. Should we be worried? Well, I will say I'm not worried. I'm not worried. This was the week to commemorate the Watchmen anniversary. Coincidentally, Watchmen in 2009 was a joint release film with Paramount and Warner Brothers. All of a sudden, Paramount just bought Warner Brothers. So I don't know. I like the timing of Zack Snyder. And then just a side note, David Ayer, he posted that Paramount picture in the far right there that he used the soundstage of Paramount to make his Suicide Squad film. There's a Paramount Warner Brothers connection. when Zack Snyder's active, we're active. He was teasing DC during this bid for Warner Brothers. I'm just gonna put it out there because I don't like to guarantee stuff, but I'm gonna go ahead and guarantee this here. If you feel worried about Zack Snyder posting DCEU stuff, we're in the month of March. Okay. I guarantee Zack Snyder's gonna post DCEU this month. What is that gonna mean? If he still wants Netflix to call them, is it Paramount? No. I showed you the connection with Zack Snyder and his Paramount deal. I don't know how this is still a confusion amongst Snyder fans. The Saudis, once this deal closes, will be minority stake owners in Warner Brothers, meaning they will have a minority stake in DC. And according to their deal, they will be able to use an IP to make a film. Have a great feeling they will pick Zack Snyder to make a DC project. So just first, will Zack Snyder post DCEU again? Yeah. All month. We got to commemorate BVS. We got to commemorate Zack Snyder's Justice League. So yeah, we're going to get more DC, just to answer your question. This month. I guarantee. Yeah, it's that Warner Brothers Paramount connection. It's real, right? It's real. So, and again, if there's real concerns about, because someone asked me on social media, can we trust Paramount to restore the Snyderverse? I'm saying the terms of the deal with the Saudis. Now, there's new information coming out that Paramount may just do it themselves. David Ellison may just do an Elseworld Snyderverse film himself. I'm still leaning on the Paramount angle because I see the terms of that deal, and I know when given a chance, they will choose Zack Snyder to make a DC film. The whole political thing, we've addressed that, right? And that's the thing. It's just, if there's real concerns for the fandom, I will happily address it, right? We're not going to make this some political thing. We're not going to do that. And then that's been disproven, right? So, and then the AI thing. So what else do we have if we're skipping past the obvious relationship Zack Snyder has with the Saudis? I don't know. If you're a Snyder fan, I don't know what you're doing right now if you're still skipping past that, right? That is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Hey, appreciate you, Swanny Joe 464. Come here every Saturday, bro, and it'll be around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, maybe a little earlier, because we want more time with Jules when we get a chance. Check us out. Check us out. Zach literally gifted Turkey with the BVS Batmobile. So I'm just be honest, Marcus, like as Snyder fans, let's see. Okay. My job was texting me, so I gotta be alert. My job texting me, but we're good. We're good. But it's about Zach's movement. If he's talking about, he's leaning towards the Saudis, and then we see they have a minority stake in Warner Brothers in DC, that should be screaming to everyone. I don't care about your hashtag. You know what I'm saying? Like, we want more. It's about Zach, right? That's what it's about. And Since Canon went over so well, we gotta we gotta drop that Canon again. Where we at?
Cannon.
Yes. Yeah, we're in March, man. But see, that's the deal with these Saturday shows, these live streams. We want to hammer this home every week, preparing for this Paramount deal to, likely close. I mean, we've been through stuff where things have 180'd on us, so I get that. But all momentum is this WB Paramount Saudi Snyderverse connection, and that's going to be the thrust of every Saturday stream. And then, of course, any popular CBM geek topics, preferably DC, we'll definitely discuss every week. I just see this misinformation and just like, if Paramount was tripping, I would love to, expose anyone that's tripping. I'm saying Netflix, I reported the first look deal, the extension that Zack Snyder got with them. I think it was in 2023. They extended the deal. We haven't heard a project since from Netflix. So any Netflix people out there, pro Netflix people, y'all should hold your tongue until Zack Snyder has another project greenlit with them. Then we can talk then. Because there's nothing to talk about now with Netflix. Like, oh, they would have did this, they would have did that. They have a contract with Zack Snyder. When's his next project? That's my question to anyone that's pro Netflix. When's his next project with Netflix? And I assume it's going to remain crickets until they actually announce something. If they announce something with Zack Snyder, the core of my channel is Snyderverse fans. We will pump that out as much as possible, just like I did the Rebel Moon watch-alongs for the director's cut, for the PG cuts. I will happily promote anything Zack Snyder does with any platform. However, wherever Last Photograph lands, we will pump that out as well. So let's not get this twisted. But if you're just pumping one platform over another, I'm saying, show me the goods. So before you say net or flicks, I want a Zack Snyder project greenlit on Netflix. Just seriously. Don't say nothing else to me about Netflix until we get that. That is what it is. Let's see. As we wind this down, this is a little shorter show than usual, but we wanted to come out here for a couple of hours every Saturday, talk about the latest news. That Green Lantern was a crazy topic. We had to discuss that, especially with the homie Jules. But we want to educate people here. That's why, again, every Saturday you're going to see that same title. This is the WB Paramount Saudi Snyderverse Saturday stream around 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Every Saturday. That's what we're doing. Educating people. People who's talking about this political stuff. I hope we killed that. We could talk about it again next week if we need to, right? That's where we at. In the chat, last minute comments or questions, throw it in the chat. We're going to wind this one down. But we bringing the real. We're not here to steer anything where it's not going. If Netflix would have won this again, y'all saw the streams I did when Netflix looked like they were winning. I was like, man, I hope something will happen. Now that Paramount may win it, my confidence is a little higher, much higher with that. We need the Snyderverse back. For sure, man. Believe Saudi Arabia. Hey, Saudi Arabia, they got nothing to do with me. If you're upset about Saudi Arabia, they got nothing to do with me. I'm just letting you know right now. Netflix passed on Zach's last photograph. Yeah. and the SWAT film. Netflix isn't pro Snyder for a while now. It's not news. Yeah, so I don't know what people are expecting. Again, I would love to hear from these Netflix folks. Some of them, I think I'm mutuals with some of them. They are welcome to present why they're still confident in Netflix. I will cover that if they really have a real reason. Don't go off a clip from 4 years ago when Zach said, hey, if Netflix would get DC, a lot has changed since then. All right. Neither side's announced anything for Snyder. Right. So you saw the terms of the deal with Paramount. Paramount hasn't closed the deal yet. Netflix has a deal with Snyder. So I'm not sure of the point of saying that. Yeah, Carlos, I see you. Yeah, again, if you hate Saudi Arabia, I'm here for the entertainment. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. Like as far as the day-to-day personal stuff, I'm sorry, like I'm not here for that. There's channels that covers, stuff like that. In 5 years, Marcus, I see you. Let's see. Okay. I had to look at my job. My job sitting here. My job know I'm live right now. Why they? They probably watching me live. Like, hey, sylabdul, hey, get this done. Like, no, bro. I'm a Syl Nation. Nah, I'm gonna close. Do you think James Gunn rushed making his Superman sequel because WBD bid war? Good question. I think he prioritized for sure. James Gunn prioritized Man of Tomorrow because they were supposed to do a Wonder Woman film, the Batman film, the Brave and the Bold. There were other streaming projects they were supposed to do, like Booster Gold, the Paradise Lost. Like a lot of stuff has been. All we've gotten was the Gunverse 2025. Creature Commandos, that's Gunn. Creature Commandos, Superman, that's Gunn. Peacemaker, that's Gunn. This year, we're getting Supergirl. So we'll see what they got. I still have high hopes for Supergirl. Okay, I do. Jules, she may get mad every week when I say that, but Lanterns. We saw what they did with the marketing for Lanterns, so it's gonna be an uphill battle in my opinion. But I'm still gonna watch it. But I'm gonna give my honest opinion. If it doesn't feel like a Lantern show, I'm gonna have a problem. Right? Don't call it Lanterns. Call it something else. You would have had a great show, an obscure show, and it's not Lanterns. But anyway, Clayface, low budget, $40 million film. Word is coming out that there's no Batman silhouette so far. We will see the final cut of Clayface. I haven't heard of any test screenings, with Clayface. So I'm gonna dig into that more. But again, DC as a brand, the general audience, they don't know Clayface. So I don't know how they're going to sell this without some kind of Batman connection. We'll see, right? So, but with that being said, to answer your question, that yes, James Gunn, he prioritized his Man of Tomorrow over a Wonder Woman or Batman film. I wouldn't say rush. He's going to have enough time to make this film this year. They're going to use some AI to cut the production, the post time down as well. And it'll be up to the people to decide. I know what we're getting with a James Gunn DC film. We just saw Superman 2025. So it'll be more of the same. And he's great at writing characters, in my opinion. I think James Gunn, I would never take that credit for him. Does he blow me away being epic? No, James Gunn has never. The closest was Guardians 3. That's his best film. I didn't really get that same pop with his Superman film. So we'll see what he got with Man of Tomorrow. So that's my thoughts with that. Right? Last minute comments or questions. We're going through it right now before we close out. My job's texting me, so I got like 15 more minutes or less, probably 10 minutes right now, since they watching my stream right now. Apparently, all love. Perhaps a little more confidence I'm on Netflix if Scott Stuber has stuck around, maybe. Yeah, for sure. Scott Stuber, that's why the shift happened, Jason, is Scott Stuber left. Scott Stuber is the one that brought Zack Snyder to Netflix to do that initial first look deal with Stone Quarry. And then before Scott Stuber left, he extended the deal with Netflix, the first look deal. Scott Stuber did that. And then once he left, all of a sudden, Netflix fumbled the director's cut releases for Rebel Moon. They decided not to fund Zack Snyder for the LA SWAT film. They didn't do a second season of Twilight of the Gods. You're not hearing about any projects that Netflix is doing with Zack Snyder since Stuber left. And again, that's just my challenge to Netflix people. Just talk to me when Zack Snyder gets a project. That's all. Because once this Paramount deal closes, we're going to be very keen on what the Saudis are going to do. I'm going to be very keen on that. We're still waiting on that to close. Right now, the deal is open with Netflix, and we haven't heard nothing, right? Scott was the key, for sure, Marcus. I'm prepared for Man of Tomorrow to be the final James Gunn DC film. I'm just prepared, just based off the contract. If something changes with the contract, again, these people that's upset when I'm bringing up James Gunn's contract. His initial deal was signed October 2022. 4-year deal was set to run out October 2026. This past December, we heard about James Gunn being extended for 6 months to April 2027. Odd, because that's after he already announced Man of Tomorrow coming out July 2027, but you only give him a contract to April, July. So your James Gunn, your co-head of DC Studios exec job ends April 2027 per your new contract. You'll still be the director of Man of Tomorrow coming out July 2027. I don't know how any other way to take this. That if your extension comes after Superman 2025 and everyone's saying you're saving DC, and again, I think the Superman film, it fits right in the middle of all Superman films. I don't think it's the worst Superman film. I'm not going to say that. It had good critical success, good audience scores, right? It made a profit. Great domestically, not great internationally. All these things are tied up, and they found $20 million like last week somehow. I don't know who was holding that money. I want to know who found that extra $20 million for James Gunn Superman. But if all that was going for him, and you just gave him a 6-month extension, I'll allow his defenders to explain that to me. I'm just presenting the facts. That's all we're doing right now. I'm not even trying to understand why they just gave him a 6-month extension. We got Supergirl in the chat. Supergirl will be great. I'm hoping for the best of this Craig Gillespie film. The test screenings are sounding great to me. I did a recent video about that, and I'm hoping for the best. Millie Alcock, I think, is going to be great. I think Momoa Lobo is going to have some great moments. I don't know if enough people are going to, be drawn to it, but I'm all for the Supergirl film, man. I've been saying that since last year. Y'all know how I roll. Yeah, lame duck year for James Gunn. So as we close this one out, again, I try to be very direct with y'all about anything. And this Saturday. Just look at this as, again, a hub for the latest news with this WB Paramount Saudi Snyderverse connection Saturday stream. We'll have Jules at sometimes on here as well to give her thoughts on the latest topics. Going to have a lot of fun with this, man. And we're going to address everything heads on. But I want to get away from all this political stuff. I want to get away from all this personal feelings. Paramount is set to close by this fall at the latest, early 2027. And things will get very interesting when that comes. And we're going to slide on out of here. Now, as far as with the platforms, I want to make this very clear. There'll still be updates during the week. I just want to highlight the Saturday stream, the live stream more than, the weekly stuff. It'll be uploads. It'll be members uploads as well. Talking again about the latest in CBM Geek news, the business behind it, analysis overall. Patreon again, patreon.com/sylabdul. I got this up there on Patreon right now. This Avengers Doomsday. The plot leaked. And it's sounding amazing. It's sounding amazing. So you patrons, y'all probably already saw this. I'm so ready for Avengers Doomsday. I got the whole plot leak. I didn't spoil the entire film to the patrons, but I do leak stuff over there. Maybe I'll do some real plot details, probably for the top level patrons, if y'all want to be spoiled. If y'all don't want to be spoiled, and I'm not, this video here on the Patreon, it's not totally spoiling the film, but I got the entire story. Okay, like it's amazing. As it says here, Infinity War Part 2. Yes, that's what Avengers Doomsday is, in more ways than one. I don't want to spoil it. JT was good in the chat, lurking. That's all good. Check it out over there. Again, it will be some uploads throughout the week. I had a nice week off work. I'm returning back to work. I had an unexpected week off. Now it's back to the grind, but Saturdays will still be here, and it'll be uploads across all the platforms. Much love. YouTube members, more to come. And I gotta adjust this volume on this because this comes in really quick when I end this. But we on out of here. Till next time. Make sure you smash the like and make sure you still subscribe. Let's put this out here real quick. Where are we at with the likes? Hold up. I should have did this like an hour ago. We need more likes. We need plenty more likes. So definitely, if you're rocking with what we're doing, of course, put in those likes for sure. Much love to Syl Nation. We on up and out of here as soon as the video starts. We out.
Watchmen forever vigilant, steady watching and listening, disciplined, militant, killing these dudes that started visiting. What's the latest word, yo, Syl? We need to know. Tell us what you heard, yo, Syl. We need to know the ins and outs. Who's walking out, buying in? We need to know your thoughts on what's new, what you do to stream a hell of a show. Let's go. One hell of a show. Let's go.